Good evening. It is I, Rankar. It is my pleasure to be with you in this evening. We hope you enjoyed the mantra meditation. It may seem a little strange to yourself to say just two words over and over, but I'm sure you noticed that the rhythm and the pitches, what was happening, that they invoked within yourself that sense of peace, which was the desired effect of the meditation, to have a peaceful life, to meditate on such a thing as this mantra. You, of course, can choose to meditate on other things also, but if you are desiring peace within your life, to use those terms of peace and harmony, peace and tranquility, even peace and love, is to increase the level of peace within your own being. You have just spent several minutes completely occupied by the word peace. It was in your consciousness. It was an active meditation that works quickly and works easily. Now, if you have other things you would like to bring into your life, perhaps money, it is also suggested that you can use money as a term, so that you would use the term money and prosperity, perhaps. I like the idea of using two words. It's much better than saying just one, which loses something as you try to meditate. It is always better to have two words at least, so you can have money, you can have success, you can have success and money. You can create your own mantra to attract to yourself the right frame of mind, to create the world that you want and the life that you want. You are always in the act of creating, and whatever it is you think about is what you attract to yourself. It's very simple. Whatever you think about is what you attract to yourself. So if you worry about a lack of money, if you worry that you may come down with a disease such as COVID or cancer, these things are on your mind, and this is what you attract to yourself. So taking the time to construct a mantra for yourself that is geared to what you wish to manifest in your life is one that will be extremely helpful. Because if you do this consistently for a number of nights, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, using a similar mantra each time, you will find that thought running through your head in odd moments of your day. You may not be thinking of anything in particular, and you will find the mantra popping into your mind. That is because you have decided to attract these things to yourself. And as such, what you think about is what you attract to yourself. And so you have been in the process of doing so today for peace. We have used this also in the past, and I may perhaps decide that the meeting should continue to use mantras, in which case I will advise you to do so. Perhaps we will change up our mantras, but I wish you to use peace and harmony for a time, just to bring peace into your life. You can change it up by saying peace and love, so that you have both peace and love in your life. Perhaps you would like peace and tranquility. And that's another form of peace, a calm, relaxed form of peace. And it helps you to stay peaceful during your day. Now, are there any questions you would like to ask of me? Remember, it is just important to speak up.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I have a two-part question. Since the year began, I've been doing once a month sound bath healings, in-person sound bath healings.
Are
And
you receiving these or giving them?
I'm giving them.
Oh, yes. Okay.
The energy is very nice, particularly the one I just did a few days ago. The energy was beautiful. However, the turnouts are pretty light. So my question is, do I want to continue doing them month to month with a very light turnout, or is there a way to increase that? Now, along the same lines, I'm also planning a 4-part chakra workshop for May and June. I'm doing this with a partner. We were to do it, but she sort of stepped away, faded away. I got a little bit discouraged and canceled the thing. So we planned it for this year again, and she seems to be doing the same thing. And I'm wondering, should I just continue to do this? I know I can do it on my own, but attracting people to it is a challenge for me, whereas she can easily get people to come. So that's my question, 2-part question.
So the reason you wish to use this woman in this four-part chakra class, is that what it is?
Yes,
4 parts on 4
Yes.
different nights
right.
and or days. And the reason for having her is because she has a following of people that
Right.
which will, you hope, enhance your turnout. And you are wondering if this is going to be fruitful, since now it seems she is going to be backing away from this. And it may not be worth your effort to try to spend 4 weeks speaking to only 3 people, or whatever the enrollment happens to be. And so your question is whether or not you should continue to do this. Well, this person has proven to be unreliable. And I am not sure whether she suspects the reason that you are asking her to be with her in the project is because you are using her. And perhaps you are not paying her what she would wish to be paid. That would be one of the things that you would need to investigate to see if there is exactly what is the problem. If she is not forthcoming about the reasons for her deciding to back out of your project, which you have been planning together, then I would say that she is just being unreliable, does not really want to do this. You have perhaps talked her into it, and it's not something she wants to do, because I do not think she does these things on her own, that you have essentially talked her into it. And it is different from the reason that she has her following. She is not known as a teacher. She is known, I believe, as a psychic or clairvoyant, and has a large feeling of following of people, in which case she is unsure of herself as a teacher. And she does not feel that she is contributing, or she is doing, or you are deciding exactly what should be done, and perhaps she disagrees. So I think you need to just assess, try to have a conversation to elicit her real feelings about the class and why she may not want to do it. Be very open to listen to what she says and to read the words that are there, that aren't there, so that you can make a good decision. The first part was, I believe, how to attract more people to your gong baths. Well, while you find them extremely helpful, other people may not feel that they are, what can I say? I do not wish to use the word valid, but I believe people find them to be an interesting experience, but not something that they feel they need to experience on a regular basis. So therefore, that is why your attendance is falling off. People are not getting an effect that they value. And I cannot counsel you on how to give them something that they will value. You have offered them a gong bath. It has a result. If they do not value it, they simply will not come again. They will not spend the money for this. And so once in a while, it was fun, but it isn't always the way I want to spend my money. So they stay away. And I wish you to consider this in making your decision on whether you wish to continue. And you just need to still make your own decision. So I hope that has been of some help to you.
I believe so, yes. Thank you.
You are most welcome. Are there other questions?
And I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Last year in October, my older son married. And since then, I didn't saw him and his wife because I wasn't vaccinated and they are vaccinated. This Thursday or Friday, I will become a grandma. I would like to know, because I'm in peace and I accept that, but I hear by the voice when my son is calling, he's very, very angry. I didn't sacrifice, like he said, you should sacrifice and you should take the vaccine so you can see the grandchild. What do you think about that situation?
Well, your son and his wife have a strong belief that the vaccination is helpful and not harmful. And they feel that it is in their best interest that you are also vaccinated. Also, it is in your best interest. Perhaps a discussion with him would help. Since they are vaccinated, they have little worry about getting the virus. That still leaves them the question of you and the infant. The infant, in their mind, would not have any protection from the virus. And so they would worry about that. And it is up to you to consider their fear and also how you would feel if by some reason, some way, you accidentally gave the infant COVID. Now, it is not likely to happen. That I will tell you, that those who are anxious about the COVID, it is a normal disease, let's put it that way. There are many things that might affect the baby that you could give it. And so, such as well, the chicken pox, there was something that you can, if you have had that disease, although you have recovered from it and you have some immunity to it, you also carry that disease within yourselves, because this is well known that the chicken pox goes into cells and lies dormant and then emerges by the disease you call shingles. And shingles can give the child chicken pox. So there is threats to the child no matter what. But inasmuch as the parents are fearing that you might cause an illness for the baby, that is why they are taking or asking you to take the vaccine. And it is up to you. What relationship do you want with your children? What is more important to you? To avoid the vaccine? Perhaps you have very good reasons for avoiding the vaccine. And so you feel it is too risky to take a chance on the vaccine, and you don't want to take it. Then of course, that is your right, your prerogative, and you have good reason. And they have good reason. So what do I think about that? I think there is a family in which everyone has good reason to want the others to allow you. You wish to be allowed to see the baby and to see them without the vaccine. They want you to have the vaccine, thinking it is the best for you as well as for them and the child.
Thank
There
you.
is no solution. There is no offense. There is no reason to be angry. It is just to be sympathetic to one another's position and be willing to accept the consequences, which are not pleasant in any way at all. It only leads to a division within the family. But it is entirely up to you, based on your belief in the vaccine or the bad effects of the vaccine and their belief on the vaccine. You cannot fault anyone for their belief.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I don't know if that has been helpful to you.
Very much. Very much.
Then good. I hope it brings peace and harmony to you as well as to them.
Yes.
Are there other
definitely.
questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
I have a insurance claim that is coming up. And my question to you is, do you see me winning the case? It's an
Well,
automobile accident.
I cannot, I avoid giving such predictions. I'm sorry. This is subject to well, I avoid these kind of questions simply because they are not helpful for me to make a prediction that can be changed quite easily by the actions of people around them. So I do not usually answer these questions, and I will probably stay with that at this time.
Okay.
You are going to find the answer in just a matter of time. The way it is going to turn out is how it is going to turn out. Usually there is some settlement that was offered to you. I'm sure there was some settlement. And you refused the settlement for whatever reasons that you had of your own. And I would assume that their settlement was what you considered inadequate to pay for the damages. That if it was an automobile accident, there were damages to you, and perhaps you will be permanently impaired in some way or experience a permanent disability from such an accident, in which case it was your right to take it to court. And the decision has already been made, unless they are offering more settlements and you are willing to take one of those. If you are unwilling, then you must continue with your trial, and the outcome will be whatever the outcome is. So that is all that I will say on the subject. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Are there other questions?
Yeah, I was wondering something about our deceased loved with the ones that stay around us and they're like always there to help us and things like that. I just realized the other day, well, you know, they've had other lives too with other people. And I don't know where the other people are now, but they could be living in another life. So are you able in spirit to, like, so to speak, stretch yourself out to all the other relatives you may have had through other lives to be there for them too?
So your question is, very often spirit helpers are those that you have known in other previous lives. Is that correct? You are starting with that premise?
Well, I was starting with kind of our relatives that are now deceased, so to speak, but they stay near us or they're there to help us if we call on them. They themselves had had other lives, but now that they're in spirit, they know that, and there must be other people that they were related to that may be on the earth now somewhere. And are you able to, I mean, stretch yourself out to all the other people that you've known when you're in spirit?
Okay.
You kind of know what I mean?
I understand the question. We do not need to stretch ourselves out as if we were elastic beings, because we are in spirit and we are all energy. And when you can be aware of whoever you wish to be aware. So if you are recently transitioned, chances are that you, after a certain time, a very short time sometimes, you have little interest on the people that you have left behind. And so that calling upon your dead father to help you may or may not get a response. Now, certainly calling on your great aunt, unless you were particularly emotionally connected to this woman, would not bring you a great response either, because every person who goes into spirit, which is virtually everyone, does not maintain connections with those that they were close to on the earth plane. There are only some that you wish to be with and to help out. And certainly children are frequently one of the things, but sometimes there is no reason to help them. People are in an incarnation for a reason. They are there to learn something, to grow, which is best done when you are on the physical plane. Now, just as if you never made your child learn to put on his own clothes, to tie his own shoelaces, this child theoretically could grow into an adult and still not know how to dress himself, how to tie his own shoes, because you were always there to do it. This would not help your child. It is important that you, as a parent, force the child to learn to take care of himself. And this applies to those people in spirit. It is not their job to help you or the rest of their family members. They have done the best they could while they were on the physical plane. And now it is up to you on the physical plane to grow and to learn. If you did not learn it at some point in time, it is probably for you to learn it before you transition into your own spirit being So do not concern yourself. We can be in almost two places at the same time. The distance between point A and point B is minuscule as far as we are concerned. If we were needed, we could be in one place and immediately in the other so that you would not be aware whether we were there or not. And, but we are not, when we transition, when you transition, you are not, your purpose is not to help other family members, but to let them go through their own lives in their own way. From time to time, you may wish to be of service.
Well, based on that, when we ask spirit for help, where is that help coming from? And some people even say, well, I asked spirit for help and, my Aunt Jane came through. What does that mean?
It means that someone has the perception that their Aunt Jane came through. Was the help that she gave to them helpful? Did she really help them? And that is good. They received the blessing. But rather than say that it came from spirit, many people can achieve these things by their own desires and what they want. So if I desire help from spirit, I am sending out a request into the ethers. And that's, of course, we are speaking when I am on the physical plane. But currently I'm in spirit. And so this conversation using me as an example is rather crazy. But we will say you decide you need some help. And so you ask for help from spirit. Now you are sending out the thought about what you want. And you are perfectly capable of creating the desires that you want and manifesting them yourself. So in effect, even though you are asking for spirit's help, you are also eliciting and making, let us say, you are taking the actions and the thoughts that bring you the knowledge and the results that you desire. So you may be the source of your own help without realizing it. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
I think so. So even though my lovely imagination has to say it's coming from somebody else, it's really coming from me.
It could very well be coming from you, yes.
Okay.
And it is also possible that spirit, Aunt Jane, your grandfather, whoever, could give you the idea, or in essence, help you in that way. But again, you can implement that which you have found and manifest it in your own life. So you can ask for information from spirit. That can be helpful. But you have all the information that you need within yourself. I cannot emphasize that too much. You have the power to create the life that you want to live. It is within you. You have the ability to do those things. Spirit will not allow you to become so dependent that you do not act in your own behalf and do not take care of yourself.
That makes sense.
Because that would not be helpful to you.
Right.
And so it's all just a matter of using your own power and your own energy. You can ask for the help, but the help that may come to you may be through your own hands and your own mind and your own actions, which is
Even
where
if I don't
comes
think
from
it is.
most of the time. It comes from
Okay, all righty. Thank you.
You are most welcome. Are there other questions?
Yeah, I
Yes, I
do.
wanted
Oh,
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry.
I just wanted to know, with what you were just saying, where would spirit guides and higher self fit into the picture?
Your higher self is always connected into the spirit world on an energetic level. And so where do your spirit guides come into this? Well, they are there to help you, but they will mostly help you by inspiring you.
Mhm.
And that way you learn for yourself. The idea will come into your head and it is up to you to implement it. So if you do nothing, it will never manifest. So you cannot expect spirit guides to do the work for you. You still must realize that their help is confined to giving you the right ideas to in that way you use your own power and you create for yourself. And so it's more in the realm of knowledge rather than doing things for you. I know they do things. Juana does things for the medium, little things like helping her find things, but she is not giving them to the medium. She is helping the medium find them. She is direct in the background. She is directing her where to look or what actions to take so that she can find what she wants to find. She is opening a door in her mind for her to see a thought or get an idea, but she is not doing the work for her. Your spirit guide will never do the work for you. That would not help them in their progression, or they would be crippling you in your life. Hope that is helpful.
Yes.
I
yes.
believe it was Elizabeth.
Yes, I wanted to ask about past lives.
Okay.
Like, how do you figure? I mean, I've tried past life regression. I didn't get anything. I'm assuming I might have a past life, but how do you determine what it is?
Oh, there are very many different ways that you can come across a past life if you wish to know them. Sometimes tuning into an emotional reaction and sitting quietly and asking yourself, why am I having this reaction? And go with the feelings that you feel so that this reaction is coming because why? Whatever it is that you feel that, oh, for some reason you are unusually afraid of this, or you will find that by asking yourself the questions as to why you are having emotional reactions to things that are happening frequently. Then you can tap into a past life and see what is bothering you. Now, the reason you probably did not experience a past life is that you were busily censoring that past life because you are thinking, oh, this is not real, I'm just making this up. In which case, you are judging what is coming into you as being unreal before you can truly grasp it. And so try not to make those decisions. They stop you from expecting and being as accomplished as far as psychic development is concerned, as well as using a useful tool such as past life. Now, why would you want to look into a past life anyway? Well, it's to see why you have a fear of heights, or why you are afraid of deep water, or why you won't learn how to swim, or why you get angry at people when something happens and it's consistent. That would be the main reason for looking into a past life, to make it helpful for yourself. Otherwise, it is just a curiosity. And I don't necessarily recommend that you bother to use a curiosity as a reason for having a past life regression. It does nothing for you. If you learn that you were a princess, or that you were a rabbi, or that you were a peasant in a village, how does that help you in this lifetime? And you should investigate those things that might help you in this lifetime. So if you have a reason to figure out why you hate people who smoke, or why you want to have cigarettes when you've never smoked before, that is a good reason to ask for regression and perhaps investigate that to find out where that comes from, so that you can let go of those things that are not important in this lifetime. And so that is my suggestion when it comes to past life regressions. I don't know whether I answered your question.
No, that was fine. I really didn't have a desire till other people started telling me about what they thought I was in a past life, and it just didn't seem plausible to me. That's all.
Oh,
So I-
other people are venturing past life. Oh, they are giving you past lives without your asking. And you
Or they've said that we were related in a past life, and it's not anybody that I would ever even think about, or a connection that I would have made. Although several have told me they think I was a princess in a past life, but I think that's just their perception, not the truth.
I think you are correct. It is their perception. They are projecting something on you rather than receiving something from you. This type of thing is not unusual again with, I will call it developing psychics, people who wish to be psychics. And so they are telling you what they are perceiving, which is what you have to do when you are trying to make a connection to someone. You have to be able to just talk about it. But for the person receiving this from a student, I would not take it too seriously or worry about it. It's not important what they think that your past life might have been. And they could be misperceiving it very greatly, putting it into a different context that's erroneous. So do not worry about these type of things. If someone gives you a psychic message that is helpful to you, by all means take it. If it is not helpful to you, by all means ignore it. Are there other questions? No one has any other questions? Because if we do not have questions, it will be done for the evening. Lydia, I think, is raising her hand.
I do have a question, but you said about the healing. It's about my health. So I don't know if this is the part when I'm asking about my health problem or when the doctor gonna come.
Oh, were you asking about your health? Did you ask about a health problem?
Mine health problem. Should I ask right now or the healer gonna be on the
Oh,
end?
you can ask right now of me.
Okay. I'm
Either
recently
that, or you will need to ask to speak to the doctor.
to the doctor. Yes. Okay. Okay. No problem. So I will ask the doctor.
You're asking for the doctor. So I will just ask one more time. Is there anyone who has another question for me?
I do.
Yes.
I'm going through a very difficult time right now. Will it pass soon?
Well, the reason the question is based on, the answer is based on whether the difficult time you are having is because something is happening and going on that you do not want to have happening and going on. If it doesn't involve you directly, you have to,
It's me directly.
so it does affect you directly. So I am trying to phrase this carefully,
Okay.
because sometimes what happens in your life is something that makes you unhappy. And so you have a very hard time with it, because what you are going through is what you do not want to go through. But it may be something that you have to go through. And so your question, as will this last long, it's almost not a right question or a good question, because no matter how long it lasts, it is lasting too long for you.
Right.
And so what actions can you take to get out of the situation? And can you take actions to get past this situation? Can you answer that question?
I'm trying to accept it.
That is very, very revealing, because you're trying to accept it, which means it is your own opinion and your own idea which is causing you the greatest distress at this time. And so therefore, it makes you unhappy. If that is the case, you can end this quickly by adjusting your thinking so that you can accept the situation without feeling bad, without feeling badly. What perception can you possibly have on the situation that would make you feel better? Not that it will change, but how can you change your thoughts or your minds? Because you have the power to do that. You cannot change the other people in the situation. You cannot make them behave as you would wish them to behave. And the sooner you accept that and change your own thinking on what is going on, so that it does not make you sad and it does not make you angry, then you will put it behind you. And
Okay,
it will
thank
be
you.
over. So if you can change yourself, that is what you need to do in order to put this whole episode behind you and come out with a better result than you are going through now. And that is the best advice that I can give you. If you can learn to change your perceptions in such a way that you no longer feel unhappy, then you will have learned the skill. You will have learned the skill to create a happy life for yourself, which is what you wish.
Thank you.
You are most welcome. And are there any other questions before I say good night? So, and let Dr. Benjamin come in. Then, as there are no more questions for right now, I will say good night. I give you all my blessings. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I am back. I'm going to get Dr. Benjamin right now, and then he'll take your question. Good evening. It is I, Dr. Benjamin. How may I be of assistance? There
My
was a
name is-
question for me.
Yes, doctor. My name is Lydia. Recently, I'm losing unbelievable amount of the hair. I have unbelievable problem with my joints, back, legs, spine. Can you help me, please?
You are under quite a bit of emotional stress at this time. And this is what is causing you to have all of these symptoms, the hair loss, as well as the joints. It will probably, if you go to a doctor, may come about as either a thyroid. He will tell you you have either a thyroid problem or a rheumatoid problem. And but it is caused by the stress in your life. And you would I would suggest you try to eliminate the stress. One way is for you to begin, if you do not follow it now, a practice daily of meditation. That will give you a period of time in which you are not in a stressful situation and in feeling so. This will help you to feel better. It will take a few weeks, but it will help you to feel better. It is important for you to do this. Now, there are some vitamins and supplements that you can purchase, which might also help you in this way to improve your vitality and the way you feel. And so you may purchase such supplements if you wish, which may help to improve the way that you feel. Vitamin B supplements, that which is called CoQ10, and one moment, things which are anti-inflammatory, of which there are quite a number on the market. So you can use extra vitamin E. You can purchase anything that is labeled as an anti-inflammatory that is in the way of vitamins, and take these substances, and they will help you to recover from this stress. If possible, please try to resolve the stressful situations that you are under, for that will, then there will be less need to take supplements, and that with the meditation will also restore your health.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. Are there other questions for me while I am present?
Yes, Dr. Benjamin, I was wondering, is it possible that people just show high blood pressure without really needing to be on medication? I've been taking the same blood pressure medication or similar up until about 6 months ago for 37 years. My blood pressure never changed. It's always on the high side. It doesn't matter if I'm heavy, if I'm thin. And I just wonder, is it a necessary medication to continue to take?
We know, and you know, that high blood pressure can help to trigger a stroke. And so it is always good to keep the blood pressure under control. If you have stopped your medication and your blood pressure has not risen to any appreciable amount, then there is no need to continue to take it. However, if your blood pressure does rise to that which is determined as being high blood pressure, not just moderately high, but high blood pressure, then it will be important for you to resume the medications that your doctor prescribes for you.
do you recommend just stopping it for a short period of time while continuing to take blood pressure to get a reading on it?
I do not like to make these suggestions because your government does not approve of practicing medicine without a license, and I do not have a license. So I cannot say whether you should stop your medication. I should not tell you to stop your medication. It is up to you on whether you wish to stop your medication. But it is strictly up to you. It is your question. It is your decision. But you may be endangering your health by stopping your medication.
Thank you, I understand.
And you should probably speak to your own doctor and express that you would like to stop this medication. If it causes you any problems or distress, certainly the conversation with your own physician is important.
Okay, thank you.
You are welcome. Are there other questions? As there are no more questions, I give you all my blessings. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, hi, I'm back. Is there anything else?
No.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay, then. Well, I'm going to say good night too. Remember, I love you all. Good night.
Good night, Wanda.
Good night.
Good night.
Okay, hi, I'm back. Okay, thank you all very much. I think it was a good evening. Lots of good questions. And I hope the answers were helpful to you all.
Very much.
Yes, they were.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay.